Hi guys, welcome back to Lost in My Library. My name's Kate. Today I'm doing my January 2022 wrap-up. So this month I read a grand total of 3 books. The last week was kind of very chaotic because my phone decided to stop working, and then I was off to Supernatural Con this last weekend, so I really haven't done a whole lot of reading in the last few days. It sucks, but I have finished 3 books. I got a lot of reading done. From now on in these wrap-ups, I'll be also talking about my goals and how well I am doing with those goals. So let's first go over the books I read. We'll start with because 2 of which are in the same series. They're first and second book in a series. So we'll talk about the book that isn't a part of that series. And that is Psychopath, and that is by Andrew Edwards. This is a horror novel. I really didn't like this. So, as the title would suggest, this is about a psychopath. And it's just kind of his story from the beginning of when he started killing people to, the ending of the book. I really didn't like this. You can write a book with a character that's not likable at all. There's some really gross comments made in this book. I can't get past the fact that it seems like every woman he ever met was just falling at his feet, worshiping him. Every single man, every single woman that you meet is just in love with you. What? It feels like it's a self-fulfilling fantasy. I don't know, it feels weird. It's very weird. And then the ending, he kind of gets a redemption arc. You don't get to build this really quick redemption arc that doesn't carry through the entire story. Really, how this book is written is also very, very strange. It will flip between a lot of different time periods. It is very confusing to keep up with which story is which. I think that could have been done much better, and to make it much less confusing than the story actually was. So the ending, I hated the ending because it wanted to make us sympathetic to this psychopath. When this guy really has not been sympathetic at all. I didn't like it. Didn't like the fact that the author was trying to make me like the main character at the very end of the book. No. Ended up giving this book a 2-star. This is the second book I read this month, this year. And I was riding on the high of the books we're about to talk about. The first book I read. So I read the first book in this series, then I read Psychopath, and then I read Angel Eyes, which is the second book. Okay, so we'll just get to that series. So, the first book I read this year, for my first 5-star book, was Devil's Night by A.N. Willis. Now, I actually got this on Book Sirens. Got this and Angel Eyes on Book Sirens. But I really liked Devil's Night so much. I bought Devil's Night, and I bought the second book, and I also bought the third book. I liked it so much. So this book, okay, what is this book about? This book follows our main character, Penny, who, when she was younger, had a paranormal experience. Now let's see if this sounds familiar to anybody. She had a paranormal experience, and her father wrote a book about her. Sounds like Home Before Dark. Anybody? Kind of. But this book does so much better. So much better. There's actually paranormal stuff happening in this book. Our narrator isn't a unreliable narrator that Riley Sager can't get away from. I really like this. So she comes back to this town. She's throwing on a festival at her hometown, and she has a past with this hotel, and we also get the story of what is happening in the past that goes and matches with what is happening in the present with Penny, and I really, really liked it. There's also a very cute romance in this, and I think that romance was handled very nice within the book. Alright, so give this 5 stars. Absolutely loved it. And then I started reading Angel Eyes, which is the sequel to, as I said, Devil's Night. So Angel Eyes follows, Penny again, but it's not so much following Penny as much as it is following, I am blanking on her name. Her name's Ellie, I believe. I believe her name is Ellie. We focus on our main character. That's no. I am struggling with names right now. That's Penny. That's Penny's. Eliza. Okay, so Eliza. We focused a lot about Eliza, who comes to this house. She is a lawyer, handling the estate of the previous owner of this house, which is called January House. If you are a fan of like creepypasta, found footage kind of stuff, this is the book for you. Because let me tell you, that was really nice. So it doesn't have the book aspect that Devil's Night had, but it does have a podcast element if you like mixed media elements. This is also a good book for you, because we get this podcast element of talking to the artist who ended up passing away in this house, and we're trying to piece together what was happening in her life. Her uncle created these movies, and there was this one movie called Angel Eyes, where it's just disappeared. Nobody really knows what happens to it. Nobody has really seen the movie. It was described as grotesque. It was not very well received. Dee, that's her name, Dee, the artist, starred in this movie, and so she got a lot of backlash. Soon after, her uncle, who created the movie, and her boyfriend, well, not really boyfriend, love interest, disappeared and was proclaimed as dead, but nobody really knows what happened to him. And there is a following of her uncles who made these weird movies, who think that Dee actually killed her uncle to inherit the house. And then you're just following what happened with her uncle and what happened to Dee, because was she murdered? Was it a ghost? What happened to Dee? There was some weird stuff going on. We are introduced. We have Bryce in this book, who is a main love interest to our pretty much one of our new main characters, Eliza, and he has psychic powers now. I like the idea, if we're going to continue with this theme of the Wright family having psychic powers, some kind of paranormal powers, I can see, because there's a third one, there's Krista having some of that as well. And I think if that is what's happening, is introducing these characters who are coming to learn their powers, I think that could be really interesting. Of course, Penny's still in this book. She just doesn't play as massive as a role in Devil's Night. I actually really, really liked, I had a, I can't remember if it was a vlog that I'm filming that for the, finishing my series, or if it was in 22 books that I want to read in 2022 video that I said I wasn't really sure if I was going to enjoy this. I actually really, really liked it more than I liked Devil's Night. And I'll tell you why. I really liked the side characters a lot more in this book. I liked the story of, I'm a big fan of like creepypastas. So I was a big fan of what was happening. And I really wanted to see what was going on. I think what falls flat is the explanation of what happened to the uncle in the book. I'm still kind of confused by what happened to the uncle, but I am very excited to see where these characters go. I think the next book is called Demon House. I believe that's I will be reading that soon. I'm currently reading a different arc, but hopefully soon. Alright, so let's talk about my goals for the channel. So one of my goals was to read a diverse book each month. I haven't finished one, obviously, by the books that I read, but I did read, let's see, I actually almost finished, Wicker King by Kay Ancrum. That is by a POC author. I didn't realize Kay Ancrum is a POC author, but she is, and that also has mental health representation as well. Full thoughts when I actually finish that book. I'm like nearly done, so I'm going to count at least like having my one diverse book, but that's not the only diverse book I have read this month. I have also almost finished A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, who we have Sal Singh, or not Sal, what is his name, Raj Singh, in A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, who is POC as well. He's the main character of the book. I really, really enjoyed that. I actually ended up buying the trilogy of that series because I really, really, really liked A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I also started reading a nonfiction this month. This was the book that I was going to do for joining a book club a month. I don't think that's going to happen. But that is the 2000s Made Me Gay, and it's just a collection of essays about like pop culture in the 2000s. So we have LGBT, obviously, representation with the author of that book. So I've hit several I've done better this month with diversity. I haven't finished any of that, but I have done much better with my diversity this month because I believe, I am reading, besides finishing A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, finishing The Wicker King, I'm finishing the 2000s Made Me Gay, and then I am reading currently Conjuring of Light, which is the other book that I'm reading at the moment. So I think that's a 4-to-3 ratio of books that have a diversity element to it, versus books that don't. So cool. I am at 62 subscribers now. I do believe when I made my 2022 goals, I had 60. So I now have I have 62 subscribers. This month kind of fell apart at the end where I didn't have a phone. Everything fell apart last week. And then I also missed a couple of days this month of uploads, but I had done better, a lot better this month with uploading. And then the last week, I just fell apart. That was great. Other than that, I'm trying to remember what my goals are, because I had to get a new phone, and I couldn't have my goals that I had written down on there. So I think that's it for the goals that I want to talk about and how I've done. I would like to see how this year goes, see how this is what my goals were and how each month compares to the next when it comes to my goals. Alright. Well, I thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you have read any of these books that I have talked about this month, let me know in the comments down below. And I hope to see you in my next video. Go be a good cabbage today. Do something kind for someone, even if it is for yourself. And I will see you in my next video.